What's going on, you guys? So one of the issues I've been running into on this car lately is oil temps. This thing has been running a little bit hotter, needless to say, than I would like it to. We've been seeing oil temps up in the 280s, 290s, even sometimes after a long run hitting 300 degrees. Now currently down here I have a relatively small, like 4x8 inch oil cooler, and it's too small to even fit a good fan on, and it just can't cut it. So what I did and what we're doing right now is we're actually adding a 11x11 inch oil cooler in the front here, and we're actually putting it in a position for where this hood duct is to actually help pull heat out of the engine bay. And it's a much larger size. Hopefully it solves the issue. So I do need to make some changes on the mounting of it right now. It's kind of just sitting in there, and we are going to need to make new lines for it, but hopefully a oil cooler with over double the capacity will help keep these temps down a little bit better than they are right now. So yeah, this little tiny oil cooler right here just ain't cutting it anymore. So we're gonna yank this out of there, and I'm gonna kind of show you guys where I have the new one mounted right now. So another change we're making while we're doing this new oil cooler is we're swapping out our lines. So before we had just standard AN hose on here, and I did a little bit of research on that hose. That hose is actually not even really rated to consistently hold the temps that this previous oil cooler was seeing. So 250 degrees is kind of the limit for it. We were exceeding that, and an engine is a pretty critical thing to be able to have your car running, and oil's pretty important for that too. So we're going ahead and we're switching all of our oil lines out with BMRS lines. So they are these lines right here, crimp style, very lightweight, very flexible, rated for high pressure and high temperature. So it's also very expensive, but you don't have to worry about them failing. It's like top tier stuff, and for something as critical as an engine, I'd prefer to spend a little bit extra money and have something that I know will not fail. So we're switching everything over to BMRS lines and fittings. There is a specific direction that these come out of the block and have to go to the filter first and then to the cooler. So if you're replacing this stuff, I usually just try to take a mental note or mark what side on the block goes to the filter, what side goes to the cooler. That way you don't mix them up. But yeah, I'm gonna climb under here and loosen these lines up, pop them out of here real quick. All right, there are our cooler lines. Definitely getting rid of these. All right, so now we need to route our hose. Now the moment of truth. Do I have enough left? All right, lines. We got our lines cut. All right, where are the fittings now? These fittings are too expensive to be misplacing. Peel the tape back, stretch the hose, install the fitting, and then you get it crimped. All right, we've got the last hose here tossed together. All right, so we got the new oil cooler mounted. We have all of our lines cut to length, routed. Now we gotta take those lines. I'm gonna run over to Brendan's house. He's gonna crimp them up for me. I'll show you guys the process for that. It's actually pretty cool. After that, we're gonna come back here, try and fine tune the alignment on this cooler, get it at a little bit of a more aesthetically pleasing angle. Hook all the lines up, tighten everything down, and then wire in the fan, and it should be good to go. So as you can see here, we finally got the new oil cooler all mounted up, fitted up right where it needs to go. We've got all of our BMRS lines crimped up, routed, tightened up. One thing I do still need to figure out is securing this line right here. You can see I 3D printed some like hose clamp deals to kind of tie them together nicely, but I do kind of need to find a way to secure this a little bit better. So I'm thinking maybe I'll make something to go to that bolt hole right there and hold it nice and tight. And then back here, these lines are routed, secured, and this one is tied up to the subframe right there. So we don't have to worry about that one moving or having clearance issues with the steering rack. That was kind of one of my concerns, was clearance right there, but it looks like we're gonna be good. Only thing I really have left to do now is toss that wheel back on, put it on the ground, top it off with oil, and then we're gonna crank it over for a bit, make sure the oiling system gets nice and primed up, and then fire it up. Should be good. We're gonna check for leaks, make sure we don't have any of those, and should make a pretty big difference. All right, so everything's all buttoned up. We got no leaks, and the oil cooler is in a pretty good spot right up there. Should be good for allowing airflow to come in. The only change I might make in the future, depending, is I might add some air ducting here. Now, one reason I'm kind of on the fence about doing that is because right now, with how open everything is, it allows a ton of airflow to go past the motor and extract all of that engine bay temperature out of here. So I am a little concerned about removing airflow to the engine bay, but you know, depending on how temps are with the cooler, it might be something I need to do to allow more airflow through that oil cooler. Now, doing that will help with temps because it'll be passing more air through the cooler and allowing more heat extraction. But I don't know how much of an effect that's gonna have on the actual under hood temps and pulling heat out of the bay. So we're gonna run it like it is for now and see how it does, but you know, it's all buttoned up. It is in a pretty good spot to allow all that heat to just extract right out of there, out from under the hood, and should keep temps a little bit lower. We did keep our mechanical gauge in there as well, so we can have a mechanical readout on oil pressure at all times. But that is the oil cooler upgrade for this. We got a couple more things to button up for our next event. We have to swap out the clutch master cylinder. We were having some hydraulic issues at Grid Life, and spark plugs, and you know, just basic tune-up stuff. But anyways, that's gonna be it for this one. So like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, follow the build along. Till the next one, I'll catch you guys later.